Hi guys, I do not have a camera anymore because I had to download another streaming software real quick. I don't even know if this is streaming, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk for a minute until I can open up YouTube and see if I really am truly streaming. You should see Subcourt 5. Let's see. I'm looking for. No one's in here yet anyway, so I need to wait until everybody pops in. Okay, it looks like I am streaming. All right, I see. Thank you, Monica. I see you. Hi, Sue. Fozzie, let me get this link in Discord. Hold on. Don't mind that background noise. Just ignore it. I do not have a link to this. Hold on. Let me try this. I'm just giving everybody a time to get back in real quick. Um, Let me get this link. There we go. Get it in Discord. So I was streaming and I was just sitting here minding my own business, watching the same video that you were watching, or I was watching chat, one of the two. And all of a sudden, StreamYard just stopped working. And there was just an error that said that it just wasn't going to work anymore. So I rebooted and I checked the status of StreamYard, to make sure the servers themselves were up and running, and they're up and running. I tried to restart it a couple times and nothing. It won't let me stream. So I downloaded a different streaming software real quick, and I hope I set it up right in 2 freaking minutes. It was probably Jay from Michigan, just so y'all know. And I didn't set up my camera, nor am I going to, because I don't have any background scenes loaded. It's just my green screen, and it's a mess. So we're going to go camera free, just like we used to. It feels like I need to crap up my audio a bit so that it's just like I used to do it. So StreamYard is wonderful. So I can't put anybody's comments on the screen because this software just doesn't know how to do that. It says that it does. It says that you can do it, but trust me, it doesn't work. So, mhm. You heard you heard me. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe I'll just keep taking screenshots and sliding them onto the screen. Nope, this software doesn't do that. I could do that all day, and this software would never show you my screenshot because it's only capturing exactly what I told it to capture. With StreamYard, I captured my one entire desktop. So anything I put on that desktop, you would see. No, this is specifically just showing you what I said to. I just went to put that on the screen. CJ says I should read all the comments out because Fuzzy would love that. 14 people, that's good enough for me. I don't remember how many were in to begin with, but it probably wasn't much more than 14 people at 4:30. All right. I'm going to try to skip forward to where we were, maybe. I think we were 6 minutes in the stream, so that's at least 3 minutes in the video. Here's where we were. Now, the good part. Can you hear this? So I'm going to press play. I'm going to go back. I'm going to press play and let me know if you can hear this. Okay.
forever and ever as if it went to
How
trial and
about
got
now?
ruled on.
Can you hear
It's
this?
dismissed as a procedural matter because they're not here. If they want to pursue it, they can certainly refile and attempt to serve you again. Perhaps they have reevaluated their position and they don't want to proceed. I can only guess when they don't come to court.
There's no way that you can dismiss it with prejudice because I'm losing
Yes.
time from work now. I spoke with them and I told them that that was not my credit card. You know that I have nothing to do with that. And if they are a third party creditor, and the lady I asked her, I said, well, do you have it? You know anything with my signature on?
Third party creditors rarely have anything with your original signature on it. Sometimes they get copies when they buy out when they buy out the debt. They buy big chunks of debt, and they get to try to collect for whatever they can collect for. Um, but they only pay pennies on what the real debt is. So they don't have it. They don't have any information about the original contract or what you bought, or, if the car was blue or pink. They don't have any of that. They just have the debt. And courts don't make them show the original contract.
There because I've been a victim of identity theft. And she said, no, we do not have anything with your identity on there. I mean, with your signature on there. And I say, so how is this mine? And she just said, well, I don't know. Mr. Howard, is not available. And that's it. I said, okay, well, I guess I have to see you guys in court.
Okay.
So, I mean, to prevent me from having to keep coming back because I'm working through a temporary service. And I cannot keep leaving work to show up for something. I'm just showing up now because this is not mine. I got in some trouble. They say that this occurred in July of 18. July 18, uh, I had a trafficking charge, and my son was in the car with me. So my mother-in-law now took custody of my son down here. I was originally living in Arizona. So when I got down here at 18, I was facing a charge of trafficking, which carried 35 years at the time. So to get my son back by my mother-in-law taking custody of him, I was I was ordered to take like drug classes and stuff like that. And I have gave my name and my social security numbers out to places like right here on Main Street to, NA and AA people and stuff like that. So at that time of my life, only thing I was worried about was getting my son back and the time that I possibly could have been facing. With the grace of God, at the end of it, laws have changed. I ended up doing 4 years. So I got out. I went in 2019. I got out 2023.
Okay.
So I have brought some documents to where I was a part of when I got arrested. I mean, when I was incarcerated, when I was released. I also, had this form because somebody tried to file taxes and stuff, and that's what I brought up to her right now. I told her right here, per section 609, I am entitled to seeing the source of information, which the original contract that contains my signature. I read on that. I wasn't trying to, be funny or anything like that. I brought my security freeze because when I came home, I had to call. I called Lexus to get my personal file report, and then I also had to call Experience and TransUnion and all them, and put a lock onto my credit. So if anybody tried to, open up a credit card, anything like that, I would have to get called first. But I don't know, like I said, I was only here a short period of time, and I was forced to give my social security number and information out to people where I thought was a little shady. Those people that runs those houses and stuff, so that was the least of my worry, trying to get that.
Give me 1 second to take a look at the statement of claim. So it looks like the plaintiff, Zales Genesis Credit, purchased the debt from, let me make this bigger so my eyes can see it, Island-Wide Capital Investments LLC, who was the original owner. So, sir, I want to take some sworn testimony from you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you may put your hand on. What is your full legal name?
Cyan Carlos Armstrong.
All right, and Mr. Armstrong, you gave me a bunch of information before I placed you under oath. Is everything that you've represented to the court today true and accurate to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
Yes, sir.
And sir, did you ever open up an account of any kind with Island-Wide Capital Investments LLC?
I don't even know. No, sir. I don't even know what that is.
Okay. And did you ever open an account with Zales Genesis Credit?
No.
Okay. And is it your testimony that you do not owe any balance, neither the $733 and 17 cents plus interest or any other amount to the plaintiff in this case?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay, then based on your testimony, and since it's 10:01 a.m., a full hour and a minute after the start time for this hearing, I'll go ahead and I'll dismiss the case on defendant's motion with prejudice. Okay, if they realize that they missed the boat and should have been here and want to do something else, they might seek relief from this judgment, and depending on their reasons, I may or may not entertain that. But at the moment, case is dismissed with prejudice.
thank you.
I wish you good luck, sir.
Yeah, okay, so I just tried to put some kind of note on the screen to see if you guys can see it, and I can't. I can't show anything. This software is only really gonna get what I put out. Hold on, let me just see. Yeah, you can't see it. Okay, so when we get to Judge Fleischer, so the first two clips that I have, I'm 100% sure no one else has them. I mean, this judge is possible because sometimes he streams on YouTube, sometimes he doesn't. But the next judge, no one else has it. So I'm not worried about YouTube nailing me for reuse or anything like that, or copyright infringement or whatever on someone else's channel. So like yesterday I got a message that someone is using my content. Well, they weren't. They were just playing Judge Fleischer. And I play Judge Fleischer. So when we get to Judge Fleischer, I am literally going to have to pause it and talk a bit. I'll have to, or YouTube will nail me. When I can put my picture in the screen, that changes it, so it's not the same. When I can pop comments up on the screen, that changes it, so it's not the same. But what I have now is the exact same. Now I'm going to try to go to the next clip. I I almost didn't want to play this clip because he's so cute. He's such a cutie pie. And now there is a watermark on it on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, Jay. But that's not enough for YouTube to say that it's a different video. That's why I have to pause and I'm gonna have to talk. I just have to because I've been nailed before. I don't want to get nailed again, and I will if I leave it the way it is. If I just play Judge Fleischer, if I would just play my normal clips, we would be fine because no one else is showing them. But it's Judge Fleischer, and everybody plays Judge Fleischer. So, all right, we're gonna move on to this cutie pie judge, and he's just gonna, I don't know. And I'm not mad at him, just disappointed. Here we go. Let's see if it flips over. I'm nervous.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks. How are you?
Okay. For you. Okay.
We're calling 7 matters involving Rayshawn Holmes. I'll take entries starting with the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Blumen covering for Ashley Shelton for the people. I will note for the named court that the named victim is present via WebEx.
Thank you. And good morning, Ms. Alvarez. Thanks for your patience this morning. Ms. Blodgett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Kristen Blodgett with the Public Defender's Office on behalf of Mr. Holmes, who appears in custody at the podium by my side. And if I could just have 1 second, I forgot to just briefly check with something with Ms. Bowman.
Certainly.
So the misdemeanors.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
66.
Yeah.
He has more credit than that. I'm sorry.
Credit time served.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna ask for something.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, sorry about that, Judge. We're ready to go otherwise.
Okay, thank you. This matter comes on for sentencing. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation report, ComCore acceptance, and letter provided. Ms. Blodgett, are you ready to proceed?
Definitely, Jay.
I know. I'm thinking about it.
Your Honor, yes, we are ready to proceed. Really, the only adjustment to the PSI has to do with the credit that was calculated. 23 CR 3422. I did actually calculate 180 days of pre-sentence confinement, and I did send my calculations to Ms. Shelton, who then I think forwarded it, or at least had Ms. Blumen.
All right, legal fiction would have serious issues with her because her voice goes up at the end of every sentence.
Attached.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes. And we agree with that number.
Thank you.
Okay, but otherwise the credit in 24 CR 1823 is calculated correctly per the PSI.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Blumen, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor. There was an additional correction to the PSI that the people wanted to make a record on. The sentencing ranges for the 2 charges are incorrect on the PSI. So for 23 CR 3422, it's a sentencing range from 1 to 3 years. And for 24 CR 1823, it's enhanced sentencing as the defendant was on bond in 23 CR 3422 at the time of the offenses. So that range would be 1 to 6 years.
Is that your understanding as well, Ms. Blodgett?
Yes, it is, and that's how I've advised Mr. Holmes, and thank you for making that correction.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Blodgett, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ultimately, we are asking for the court to sentence Mr. Holmes to community corrections in both cases concurrent to one another. There was a waiver of the 2 prior felony rules, so he is also eligible for probation. And then for the court to dismiss 24 CR 1407 and 24 M 2690. And then for the court to close with revoking and terminating probation with 60 days of probation, the only condition being 60 days of jail, 60 days credit for time served in 21 CR 1805, 23 M 2718, and 23 M 482. And then also for the court to impose the credit is already put on the record in both of the cases where he's going to be sentenced to additional time. Your Honor, obviously, Mr. Holmes did write a letter to the court, which I did scan in, and the court has reviewed. And I think also in the PSI, he's done a really good job of kind of recognizing the harm that he's caused and where it's come from. And there's no question here that Mr. Holmes has suffered from substance abuse, which really has largely led to a lot of these charges and a lot of his criminal history.
Oh, yes. He suffered, guys. Guys, he has suffered.
These are his 3rd and 4th felony convictions. His prior felony convictions include a drug-related offense, and then I believe an attempted robbery, non-domestic violence, but he does have misdemeanor domestic violence, including some of the probation cases that are before the court today that are being closed out. This ultimately, I think, was a really toxic relationship for both Mr. Holmes and for Ms. Alvarez. Both of them at times being active users. He also is on Social Security. We had tried, Your Honor, to get some additional information from the Social Security office regarding his payee and other information like that, but have really kind of just run into some bureaucratic walls and haven't been able to get confirmation from them. But it sounds like Ms. Alvarez was his payee, which kind of led him to, in many ways, continuing to go back to her. And then he would use or he would drink and lash out, or it would cause arguments to really kind of increase into physical altercations. And he is here before the court having admitted to and continuing to admit to physical violence against Ms. Alvarez. It only ever rose to the level of third-degree assault, thankfully. It was charged as felonies because of his number of priors, and then obviously violating the protection orders that were in place. It was really important to him when I was going through the PSI with him to make it clear that he never threatened to burn down anybody's homes, which is mentioned throughout the PSI.
See that? He's a good guy. He has never threatened to burn down anybody's home. I can't even say that I can't say honestly that I have never threatened to burn down someone's home because I've said the words, but he's never ever threatened to burn down anybody's home.
Saying something? Okay. Okay. Your Honor, I think stability is kind of another factor that has gone into some of the issues that Mr. Holmes has had. And that's why I think that community corrections is appropriate, because that will provide him with additional stability factors that he wouldn't be able to have while on probation, including housing, a more active case manager, a lot more frequent UAs or BAs. My understanding is that community corrections, every time somebody leaves the facility to go to work or to go hunt for a job or other appointments, they then are required to take a BA or a UA upon return, and then that's not including the random ones that they also order. Sorry about that. He does have family support, Judge. The issue is that it's not here in Colorado. His aunt Kelly Holmes has been in touch with both myself and Mr. Holmes.
Who here is from Colorado? Because she says that a couple times. She says Colorado. And we say Colorado. Are we saying it wrong, just like Missouri?
For the pendency of the case. And she is extremely worried about him and really wants him to come back to California, where she can kind of help him get back on his feet and make sure that he's staying in line and doing everything he needs to. She understands, and Mr. Holmes understands, that that's obviously not going to be an option initially because he's got to be sentenced here in Colorado and serve out a sentence in Colorado unless there's any authorization for transfer. But that can be a long process and is never a guarantee, depending on what his sentence is. But part of the reason, Judge, that his stability has kind of waned recently was that his father passed away, and so that left him really all alone out here. His mom passed away when he was younger, and he was raised by his aunt's mother. And so that's really kind of contributed as well to his cycle of abuse and domestic violence. I know that there's likely a concern for the court and the district attorney regarding the fact that he got a personal recognizance bond last year to go to a rehab facility and then left the facility.
No.
1 second. He did leave because you weren't there anymore.
Well, they put me out. There's a difference between
Okay.
leaving.
He wants the court to know that he didn't leave the facility, that they put him out. And I think he explains what he wants the court to know in the PSI. He got to the program and it wasn't what he thought it was. He felt signaled out and targeted despite being clean at the time, which was really important for him. He disputes the fact that he had any kind of marijuana or paraphernalia. And he recognizes that he should have just turned himself back into the court, into the jail, and that he didn't handle it in the most appropriate manner, and that he, in fact, then went back to Ms. Alvarez and her children, largely because that's all he knew, and then fell back into some of those same habits that he wants to change. Ultimately, Your Honor, he's never had a sentence to the halfway house. And while the PSI does recommend the Department of Corrections, I think it is compelling that he was accepted by the halfway house. When they screened him, they would have had access to the PSI, as well as to his criminal history and all the other details in the PSI, including the affidavits or the retellings of some of the police reports in the synopsis that's on pages 3 and 4. And I think it is clear throughout the PSI and kind of in looking at his criminal history as well that he does need additional stability if it's going to help him through this, both for substance abuse and domestic violence treatment. And even the PSI on page 18 says that, to his credit, Mr. Holmes acknowledges a need to maintain compliance with medication and treatment engagement to have any chance at success. So it's clear that not only has he given thought to that, but he knows, what he has to do. And certainly by sentencing him to community corrections, there's also a big stick overhead in that if he fails to comply with community corrections, he will go to the Department of Corrections. And that's something he and I have talked about a number of times, and he recognizes that. And I don't think that the Department of Corrections is anywhere he wants to return to, having been sentenced there kind of further back in his past. He can have success in the community. He's got a really long period of sobriety under his belt right now, having been in custody for 131 consecutive days since mid-June of this year. And so he is asking the court for a chance at community-based supervision in the halfway house facility where he has never been before. I think they can provide everything that might give the court concern or hesitation about community-based supervision, while also still having essentially the threat of worse hanging over his head for failing to comply. He's ready to make significant and substantial changes in his life. He recognizes that he has had really bad patterns and that they have caused harm to a lot of people, and most recently and most notably, Miss Alvarez and her children. And that's not something that he believes she should have been subjected to, nor ever wants to subject her or anyone else to again in the future. And so we are asking.
So when I went down to Miami, all right, that's how we all say it here, Miami. KS, you're saying it's pronounced Miami? Well, when I went down there, everybody called it Miami. I was in Miami.
For community corrections, sentences on these cases to run concurrent with the credit is already outlined, and then to revoke and terminate the misdemeanor cases.
Thank you. Ms. Blumen?
And Your Honor, at this time, I would invite Ms. Alvarez if she does wish to speak.
Just so you know, Michael has said it like twice now that he lives in Missouri, and nobody's listening to him. You know why, Michael? Because we know better. Even though you live there, we really know because we know a friend of a friend who knows, who lives there. Missouri? You live in Missouri?
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez, I'm going to unmute you. Is there anything you'd like to let me know, ma'am?
Yeah, hi. So I did write like a letter or whatever, but I just want to kind of like just summarize it a little bit, but I have like a lot of mixed emotions and like concerns. My anxiety right now is like out the roof right now, but for starters, I do want to say like Rayshawn isn't a bad person, but he just like he makes bad decisions, as everyone does, you know. I don't want like I don't want anything bad for him. You know, I just want him to be great. I want him to succeed. I want him to have everything that he needs, you know, and at the same time, like I feel, I don't know, it's kind of like it's a battle that I'm fighting right now, like my heart and my mind, because I know that he can change, but I don't feel like he will unless he's like forced to, you know what I mean? So if he goes to prison or something, he won't get the help that he needs. He needs therapy. He needs to start healing himself, and he needs medication. And he can't get that in prison. So I think like a halfway house would be ideal for him. I just don't, my concern is maybe like considering a GPS or something for him, so that just for my own safety and my kids. because that's the biggest concern I have is, you know, we had to move from our house or whatever. I'm right now at a stage where I just want peace. And together we can't do that. You know, we were very toxic together, and I love him with all my heart, but I no love is going to be good enough when we both come from the same background. We both have the same problems. You know, it's not going to it'll never be good. But I don't want nothing bad for him. So, what
So here's my problem with courts these days. Like the whole thing centers on what would be good for this man or what would not be good for this man. Um, I'm not heartless. I'm not saying that shouldn't be part of this, but he's he's here because he committed crimes, a bunch of crimes. I think I think he has 6 charges against him right now. This judge is going to roll on 6 different charges. In the past, he's had multiple crimes. I think they said um, that this is his 4th felony, but he has a long list of misdemeanors, and they're all about this the same crime. They're pretty much the same. Well, there were some drugs, and then a whole bunch of domestic violence. So he's getting sentenced today for committing a crime. And yeah, I'm not saying that we don't need to think about the prisoners and what's best for them, but the whole in all the courtrooms now, they're like, "Oh, well, I can't go to jail because it's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for my mental health. It's not going to be good because I start a job tomorrow. It just won't be good for me." Well, yeah, it's jail. It's jail because you broke the law. Um, when I break any rule, I get punished to the max. No one says, "Well, it's probably not good for your mental health if we shut off your electric because you didn't pay your bill." No one says that. They shut off my electric if I don't pay my bill. And he's committed a crime, and they all do, and all of a sudden it's, well, they can't really go to jail because they don't have the proper bed for his back, or just things like that. And I don't get it. I mean, I'm glad that the jails are starting to rehabilitate with things like community corrections and things like that. But at some point, I mean, when you hear what this guy has done, there has to be a point in time where it doesn't matter what's best for him right now. It surely matters what's best for everybody else who lives in Colorado.
whatever you decide to do, I just hope you consider that he does have a good heart. You know, he is a good person. He just needs some stability and somebody to tell him, you know, keep him focused.
Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. Anything else you want to let me know? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Bowman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think Ms. Alvarez shows tremendous grace and kindness towards Mr. Holmes. Grace and kindness that at times it doesn't seem he deserves. And I want to recognize the strength that she has to show that to him today. I recognize that community corrections is a persuasive option for Mr. Holmes. He does need treatment. He recognizes he needs treatment. It's obvious to those who care for him that he needs treatment. Our concern is that if he fails in community corrections, his failure will come at the cost of others. Within the last 12 years, Mr. Holmes has been arrested for a crime of domestic violence 16 times. When I was reviewing these cases to cover the sentencing hearing today, it was staggering the number of protection orders that were in place at the times of these offenses. For 24 CR 1823, there were 5 protection orders in place. And
Mr. Holmes, take a deep breath. You can't interrupt Ms. Bowman. Okay, I'll give you a chance to speak.
So I apologize.
Go ahead, Ms. Bowman.
and there is concern that the word of the court does not hold much weight with Mr. Holmes. There's concern that this will come at the cost of Ms. Alvarez or another individual, as those 16 arrests involved 2 separate women throughout this time period. His criminal history is lengthy, it's consistent. I don't see a break in the crimes that he has consistently picked up since 1999. Our concern is also when the defendant was given an opportunity to show that he could comply with treatment. In that PR bond that Ms. Blodgett addressed earlier, he was asked to leave the facility due to possession of drug paraphernalia and fights within the facility. How is he going to present and accept treatment in community corrections when he was already given an option at that type of treatment before? I think he's demonstrated his inability to comply with community corrections. If this court is considering a community correction sentence, we would ask the court to do 6 years, the maximum potential sentence, to have the seriousness of the penalty of failure hanging over Mr. Holmes' head. But we join in the PSI writer's recommendation for a Department of Corrections sentence. We need to break the cycle of domestic violence. There needs to be a hard stop to this ongoing violations of these protection orders, these ongoing violations of Ms. Alvarez's right to peace and safety. And we believe that the Department of Corrections is appropriate given that. It was noted in the PSI that when he has been given the opportunity to comply with domestic violence treatment, at most, Mr. Holmes attended 11 sessions, but never engaged with further treatment. We're concerned, obviously probation is not enough incentive or structure. We ask the court to not consider that. But at this point, community corrections gives us pause and concern for community safety, for the victim's safety, and for ongoing compliance with the necessary treatment that we all agree he needs. The people are asking the court to impose an appropriate Department of Corrections sentence at this time. I don't believe there's any restitution across the cases either, so we are not asking for any today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did everybody hear what I just heard? In the past 12 years, he has 16 cases of domestic violence against 2 women. And there were 5 protection orders in place on the one when he broke it and beat her up. Did everybody else just hear that? Okay, so we're listening to the same thing again, right? Okay, just checking. But the judge is still really cute. He's just a little cutie pie. He looks like a 10-year-old in a big body.
Mr. Holmes, is there anything you'd like to let me know, sir?
Yes, sir. First off, I want to say good morning to everybody once again. Second is, I know I'm wrong. I have done a lot of wrong, but I do need this treatment. Right now, I'm going through a lot also with my body. Right now, I'm going through a lot with these medications that I need to take for my mental health. I don't think prison right now is a stable place for me to be right now with my mental health and body conditions. I am wrong from treating that woman wrong, them kids wrong. I did mess up because I was using drugs. I don't think too clearly when I'm intoxicated, when I'm drunk, or when I'm high. But I do need the treatment. I need the treatment. I didn't run from the sober living house.
Everybody needs to look at what Rebecca, throw the goat, just said. She said, for those of you who can't see chat, he reminds me of a young Justin Timberlake. I need you to remember that she said that a little later. But just imagine if you were his mom. Like, try to think back, try to picture him at like 6 years old, and he's made a mud pie or something that he is running to give you with great big smile on his face. That's what he looks like. He looks like, a giggling little boy playing with fireflies or something. I don't know. But yeah, adorable. It's just so adorable. So, all right. So remember what she said.
Sir, I don't do drugs. I haven't, I don't do marijuana. It was placed there on me. I haven't did marijuana in 13 years. The day that happened, I asked them, I said, to them that we can go take a UA or breathalyzer or anything that they wanted to. They denied me. They kicked me out. I was scared. I was thinking that I was going to be absconding. I was thinking that they was going to give me more time on me, not calling her or reporting or turning myself in. But I'm just asking, Your Honor, that you have some type of leniency on me. Let me get back to on the right path to do what I have to do to make sure that I'm a better person for me and other people. You know, I did cause domestic violence, not too much with my physical, but with my mouth. My words sometimes they come off very harmful, and sometimes I joke, and some people don't take my jokes as a joke. So I'm just saying, yes, I'm wrong. And I shouldn't put her between that. I shouldn't put her in that situation. No other female, no other male, no other child, no other creature, no other animal. I just need the right path to go, and I'm asking that you can put me in community corrections, the halfway house, so I can get that type of treatment. I don't get the medicines that I need in the penitentiary. They don't have them type of programs that I can get into that'll help me out. The penitentiary right now is set up for people to be more failure, to be more positive instead of positive. They got more drugs and more things in there that you can catch on the street that you can get in there. I'm just asking, Lord, Gianna and the Lord, that you just have a little sympathy for me. I'm wrong. That's all I can say. I'm a man. I'm standing here before the court saying I'm a man. I'm wrong. I did some wrong things, and that's up to you to make that decision what you want to do. And y'all don't have to worry about me running from the
Real men
halfway
don't
house.
hit
Like you
women.
said, if I could get put on an ankle monitor, I get put on that. Whatever you need, you can put one on my collar. You can put one on my neck like a dog. If I move the wrong way, go zap me.
I love it. I love how he's thinking out of the box, though. Just put a collar on his neck, and if he gets out of his little square of his GPS, zap him. Zap. Zap. I mean, the more when he talks normally, he's a very when he came in the courtroom, he's like, "Good morning, you guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Your Honor." He's very charismatic when he talks, but I like that he's thinking about we are allowed to zap him if he does this again.
Suck me back into realization that what I'm saying, I'm doing wrong, but I'm not gonna do wrong. I know what I got to do. I've been sitting in here and I take the time to sit there and just say that I hurt a lot of people, and I don't want to hurt nobody no more. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to use drugs no more. I don't want to use liquor no more. I just want to be on the right track. I want to find a church going place. I want to find a job, do some workouts, and just do what I have to do to get back into society. And I don't want everybody to look at me like I'm some creature or some monster or some animal.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, folks. I've considered the arguments of both parties, the statements of Ms. Alvarez and Mr. Holmes today, and reviewed the files and PSI in this matter. Because everyone recognizes, Mr. Holmes, there are a lot of cases here and a lot of crimes against Ms. Alvarez, her family. And Ms. Alvarez, thank you for sharing what you did, and I appreciate your statements. And I think ultimately everyone's goal here is that, Ms. Alvarez, that you have the peace that you deserve and the feeling of safety. And also, Mr. Holmes, I think everyone would agree that on the other end of this, whatever sentence I give, is that we want to see you healthy,
Yes, sir.
get the treatment you need so that this stops.
Casey
Has to stop.
Kelly.
It's been going on for a long time. And I recognize that this is all underlying misdemeanor conduct, but just given the amount of offenses, the fact that you were on bond for an assault against Miss Alvarez, excuse me, with the felony aggravator, and then committed a new protection order violation. Certainly that is concerning. Also note that the risk factors in the pre-sentence investigation report and the DV assessment was incredibly high as well. And I noted, as Ms. Blodgett alluded to, looks like the last time you had a prison sentence was 2005, so quite some time ago. So the question for me, I think, is really what Ms. Alvarez raised as well. I want you to get treatment. I want you to get the tools you need, but I also do want to make sure that Ms. Alvarez is safe,
I got
and
no
that,
problem with that, sir. I'm not trying to interrupt her life no more or bring harm to her or them young men.
okay. And I appreciate that. Um,
Just so you know, the last statement he just made is an absolute lie. And everybody in this courtroom is about to prove that it's an absolute lie.
So I don't know what I can dictate in terms of community corrections with ankle monitors or GPS, but I'm going to issue some orders as to that. I think Ms. Blumen makes a compelling argument or record for Department of Corrections so we'll have a period of time where we know nothing's going to happen. But I agree with Ms. Alvarez and with you, Mr. Holmes, that I think it's going to make it less likely or successful on the other end. So I'm going to give you an opportunity on community corrections.
Thank you, sir.
It is going to be a lengthy sentence just given the nature of the cases and the number of cases. So I'll start with the misdemeanor matters. 21 CR 1806, 23M 482, 23M 2718. I will sentence Mr. Holmes to a period of 60 days in the Adams County Jail, revoking probation, and grant 60 days pre-sentence confinement credit, so the misdemeanor offenses will be closed. 24 CR 1407 and 24M 2690 will be dismissed as part of the plea. They will not qualify for automatic sealing. On the two felony matters, 23 CR 3422, 24 CR 1823, I will, on the class 5 felony, on 3422, I'll sentence Mr. Holmes to a period of 3 years community corrections with 180 days of pre-sentence confinement credit towards the felony. On 24 CR 1823, on the class 5 felony, finding statutory enhancement, I will sentence Mr. Holmes to 6 years in community corrections and grant 131 days of pre-sentence confinement credit. Ms. Blodgett, tell me if there's concerns here, but as to the misdemeanor offenses, well, I don't know if the plea was structured in any particular way as to the sentence there.
I'd leave it up to the court's discretion if the court wants to just close the misdemeanors or otherwise sentence them to
So
6 months jail concurrent or something.
my plan, Ms. Blodgett, Ms. Blumen, to address Ms. Alvarez's concerns and the fact that I can't necessarily dictate terms of community corrections is I will sentence Mr. Holmes to a period of 2 years probation on each of those. I don't know if I can, but tell me if you don't think I can do that. And really, I'm just making sure there's a condition of GPS monitoring for as long as probation and community corrections dictates it. I don't recall if, I'm not making a probation tail,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that conflicts with case law, but I don't recall off the top of my head.
Smarter than me.
Yes, you can.
It's about to get much, 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 much worse. Much worse. So he's going to community corrections. So he'll be locked up for a little bit, and then he'll
Give me
take
just one second, Ms.
steps.
Alvarez.
Then he'll take steps to get out. You know, he does classes, he gets to go out for the weekend and things like that. But it's all about to get much, much worse.
Judge, so in speaking with Ms. Fleischman, who's present here, she does think that the court could do that. However, there are concerns that community corrections wouldn't accept him. But if it was an unsupervised term of probation with that being the only condition, then that might work. I think there's just would be conflicts with him having supervision through both the probation department and community corrections because they are separate departments. The other thing, oh, nope, that wouldn't work. I mean, certainly, Judge, if we receive anything else from them, we may just end up having to come back to the court. But I guess if that is what the court's intending to do, it's the only way we think it may work would be with unsupervised probation with just that condition.
Okay, and Ms. Alvarez, I think wanted to speak further. Ms. Alvarez, is there anything else you want to let me know?
No, I don't know. This is all confusing. So, I just wanted to see if somebody can like reach out to me after and like,
Yes, we'll give you a call and talk you through everything.
okay.
And Ms. Bowman, your position on that
Uh,
report sentence?
Your Honor, I think the court does have the ability to sentence probation and making sure I'm understanding, probation consecutive to the community correction sentence? Or
No, concurrent with, just to ensure that there's a condition for at least as long as probation deems it necessary of GPS monitoring.
I believe that shouldn't be a bar. And so I think we would be in support of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's, well taken, Ms. Blodgett via Ms. Fleischman.
They won't say expunged, but it's worse than that.
If there are concerns with community corrections or that raised, we can address this down the road. So what I'm going to order is on the misdemeanor offenses, 2 years probation concurrent to the community corrections sentence, condition being complying with community corrections, as well as GPS monitoring at the discretion, or for a term at the discretion of probation, with an exclusion zone for Ms. Alvarez's address, if she wishes to provide that. I will authorize early termination of that probation after 1 year if Mr. Holmes is compliant with probation and community corrections in those terms.
And is the court ordering that to be supervised or unsupervised?
I think at this time I'm going to order it to be supervised unless that creates issues. And I think that allows for probation to exercise some discretion over the length of time.
Okay.
And I will order a domestic violence evaluation treatment as to both the misdemeanor and classified felony. That will be a condition of probation and condition of community corrections. And those sentences will be concurrent to each other. No restitution is being requested, so sentence and judgment will be final. Ms. Blodgett, anything further?
If I can just have a moment to explain that to Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially because
Just remember, he
Your
has a
Honor.
no contact against her,
Hold on just one second, Ms. Alvarez. Once Ms. Blodgett's done conferring, I'll hear from you.
so he's not allowed to talk
Yeah, I
to
think we still
her.
need supervised probation.
We're running it. So, hold on. Okay. I didn't see it coming out to be 6, but this is what I gotta do to get on the right path. This is what I gotta do. Okay.
all right, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. And I think Ms. Alvarez had another question or comment, Ms. Alvarez?
Yeah. So, Rayshawn is not like the boys' dad. But they have asked to speak with him. And I just want to know like how, like if I know that there's like a parenting app. I don't know if he'd be allowed to like do that with the boys or not, or if he even wants to still. But I know that the boys
Of course I
do
do.
want to talk to him.
Of course I want to talk to my sons. Why wouldn't I?
So he just spoke to her right there. He's not even out of court yet, and he broke the protection order.
Don't address her, please.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Alvarez, do you want to address that this morning? If so, we're going to have to do that fairly quickly, or if you want to talk to the prosecution and you can file a motion at a later date, Ms. Blumen.
I think we're fine addressing that today.
Hold on, what do you want to say? Hold on, say it to me, please.
Oh, we already had that established.
So the kids they're talking about are not his children. And he has
Okay.
no contact against them
So
too.
And-
if the court's willing to have this be addressed,
Okay.
we're happy to go
And
forward.
which cases do we have? Do we have restraining orders as to the boys? Which cases then?
Hold on, just please, can you be quiet a little bit? Thank you. It's just. And I guess since we only have the 2 cases now, hopefully that'll make it easier.
I don't see, I could be wrong, I'm not seeing either of them listed.
Yeah, I think it's in some of the ones that ended up getting closed, Judge, but I guess the defense's concern is that communication, it may involve or require some sort of third-party communication with Miss Alvarez since they are minors. I don't know exactly how old they are and whether they have access to their own phones versus needing to use hers or something.
And Ms. Alvarez, is this something that the boys could communicate directly with Mr. Holmes without having you facilitate that?
Yes. The well, I guess hours. I don't know what, but he's about to be 13 in a couple days, so he has his own stuff. So
And Your Honor, I can tell the court that 23 CR 3422, that protection order had been previously modified to allow for electronic communication for parenting purposes only. But that's not a condition of the 24 CR 1823.
Okay. And Ms. Alvarez, are there parenting orders between Mr. Holmes and the boys or no?
no, well, no. But he is the only stable, male
Sure.
figure that they've had in their life.
Yep, she wants him to be the stable male figure in their life.
Yeah, and I'm not discounting that, just in terms of how the protection orders are
I'm
structured.
discounting that.
Folks, what I would prefer is to have Ms. Alvarez confer with the people and see what needs to be modified, if anything, to allow Mr. Holmes to communicate with the boys. But that's your request, Ms. Alvarez, is that he be able to have, is it electronic communication or just via like a Talking Parents app or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to like a halfway house or something, then I can see maybe if somebody would be willing to take them to see him, but electronic is like what I'm pushing for right now.
Okay.
Your Honor, the wait time, to my understanding, for the pickup is 1 to 3 weeks anyway. So if we set this sometime in 2 weeks, he may still be in Adams, and that might make a little bit more sense so that Ms. Shelton can get back.
Chaos nailed it. She nailed it. Chaos says, I think Mom still wants a tiny piece of contact with him. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
back on this since Ms. Bowman's just covering today.
Okay. Can we set this next week then?
I'm out, but yes.
Okay. Does Ms. Shelton have a preferred day?
Sorry, I'm trying to think. She and I are prepping for a trial together next week, so I can't remember. I think if we set it like a Thursday, we don't have anything scheduled for trial prep at that time.
Okay. How is Thursday, October 31st at 8:30?
So I'm not going to be here, but this way
Does that work for you, Ms. Alvarez?
sooner, and I'll
Yeah.
just have
Okay.
my office with you that day to just deal with the protection order. Thank you. Yep, October 31st.
Thank you. Thank you for raising that, Ms. Alvarez. Sorry we couldn't address it this morning. We'll be back October 31st at 8:30 to address any issues related to the restraining orders.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. So we'll see you back.
You look like Justin Timberlake, by the way.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it.
You rule for that woman.
What?
And he spoke to her again. He just spoke to her. Did they not just hear him speak to her? Yes, it was a cute comment. Yes, it was funny. Yes, just like they said, you look like Justin Timberlake. But another Smith, I wish I could pop that up on the screen, and I can't. But thank you for the membership. That's awesome.
Got some 90s curls going on today.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
For the record, he's blushing. Okay.
Thank you, folks. Take care.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks.
You have a good one too.
Lisi's been a member for 4 months. Yay. Okay, now I have to go to... If I close this, what happens? I'm going to close this. and it's just blank. Okay. And I'm gonna, there we go. So, I'm pretty sure you'll hear it. Oh, breathe. I don't understand that at all. I love that judge. I've always loved that judge. And I just feels like I'm not mad, but I'm so disappointed that he did what he did there. Another Smith, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Gemma got a membership. Mary got a membership. Navy got a membership. That's awesome. They're going to be so happy. Thank you so much. Yeah, that guy will be back, Monica, because the girl wants him to continue to do what they're doing forever. She moved. Well, I don't know why she took the time to move. She's just going to move back in with him. Well, for the next 3 weeks, he'll be in jail. Because it takes 3 weeks for a bed to open up in community corrections. Then he goes to community corrections, and he's locked up totally at first. And I'm sure they'll give him drug courses and things like that, but he needs he needs something more than that. He keeps beating up women. Yeah, okay, maybe he has a substance abuse issue. Fine. But I've taken substances and I never, well, I can't, I've taken substances and it has never caused me to go beat up a woman. Never. Not once. I mean, maybe I fell into her and we both fell down, but that's not beating up a woman. So, and then the kids. There's more than one kid. I know the one kid turns 14. I think the other kids are younger. Terry, member for 3 months. Yay. There are so many things to pop on my screen today, and I can't pop them on my screen. And that stupid StreamYard software is expensive, and it just crapped out on me. Oh, man. I mean, I I understand that he's been parenting the boys, but it's hard because if he's their father figure, you know, I just nothing good is going to happen from here on out with them. Nothing good is going to happen. And what kind of therapy do they have for domestic violence in community corrections, I wonder? Because there's a lot of people in community corrections for domestic violence. I saw this talk show. I know somebody here is going to know who it is. I can't remember who it was. She's popular. I think she's an actress or a singer. She has blonde hair. So she's on this talk show with 3 other guys, and they were talking about walking um, in some city. I don't think it was in America. I think they were talking about walking down the street in some city, not in America. And they were like, yeah, it was really scary. We had to like constantly check around us to see who was with us. We had to keep something in our hand for defense. And they're sitting there and they're like, could you imagine living like that, having to, you know, worry if you just need to walk to your car, you need to look around and worry and have a weapon in your hand just in case. And that woman sat there and just said, that's how all women are every day. And they were all just stunned into silence. These three, these 3 men were just stunned into silence, and they didn't know what to say. And she's like, right, girls, are you with me? And the guys, like, they didn't understand. They were just, what are you talking about? Because we do. When we walk out to our cars, We have like our keys ready to jab. We're constantly looking around just to make sure. We got to check the back seat of the car. If it's dark out, it's even worse. I mean, we can't just go walking wherever we want, whenever we want to. Guys don't often think about that. But yeah, I just wonder what kind of domestic violence treatment they have, because if they don't have good domestic violence treatment, then these people just need to go to jail. I mean, if nobody's going to get in trouble for beating on their partner, man or woman, if no one's going to get in trouble for beating on their partner, why would people stop beating on their partner? Hi, J Fire. Jay, I hear ya that you're near Detroit or Chicago. I hear you. You got to watch out. I just don't think it's the same. I'm not saying that you don't have to watch out for yourself when you walk around in Detroit, but for women, it's everywhere. Everywhere. Every single time we go anywhere. But, yeah. Okay, we're going to Judge Fleischer. He had a day. Mondays are crazy. We had, 1,000 people in chat again today from all over the world. I mean, it is global in his chat. Let's see. I'm thinking the sound is going to be there. Don't worry. Yeah, you can't ride a train or a subway without worrying. Often, Kelly, you just can't. I work in a bar, and my car's in the back. My car's always. I shouldn't say this. See, I have to worry about what I say about my car, about where I put my car. But
We're ready to go.
just if you can't hear,
Roll,
which I
nerds.
think you can, tell me. Let's roll, nerds.
Come on up, sir.
Do I stand here?
Marco Balderas.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Balderas, you
In every relationship I have been in, the man always sleeps on the door side of the bed. Always. No matter where the bed is, I'm not on the door side. I'm away from the door.
are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. It looks like you're also charged with failing to comply with the, I don't know what the hell that is. Let's read the information. On October 1st, 2024, did then and there unlawfully operate a motor vehicle? No.
I can see it's not playing. Why is it not playing? I mean, you can hear it, I think, but the video is just stuck there. It's not stuck on my screen. Just breathe, guys. Just breathe. I don't know if that's... We're just gonna cheat, okay? We're just gonna cheat. All right, let's see if this double plays. If we're getting echoes, you have to let me know because I can't hear what you hear.
That's not it.
Oh, okay, now it's playing.
On about October 21, 24,
I gotta get rid of this second one because I just know it's gonna echo. There.
Then and they're unlawfully while driving and operating a vehicle collided with and damaged an unattended vehicle operated by Figueroa, hereinafter called the complainant. The defendant did intentionally and knowingly fail to locate the complainant and give the complainant the name and address of the victim. All right, so failure to stop and give information. On both of those cases, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 18th, 2024, officer with precinct 4 saw that her parked patrol car had been hit by another car. The wheel witness approached the officer and advised she saw a gray pickup truck hit the patrol vehicle. The wheel witness believed the pickup truck driver was intoxicated because he was driving erratically and nearly struck a cyclist on the same road. Less than 1 hour later, officers were dispatched to a vehicle matching the description, stopped in a moving lane of traffic with the occupant asleep inside. The officer observed front end and paint damage that matched the damage to the officer's vehicle. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 1 out of 4. The DIC was read and breath was consented to. The results were 0.134 and 0.132.
Any prior DWIs?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Valderas, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your cases. Do you have a valid Texas driver license? Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Loosely, so.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure you have car insurance? Okay, you're not allowed to drive unless you have both, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? How old are you?
28 years old.
You're 28? What do you do for a living?
Real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent.
Okay. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign and reset. After that, we'll get you with pretrial for you to sign your bond conditions, then you'll get out of here. I'm going to tell you now that this is a DWI. There's a lot of time requirements. So don't sit and wait a month or two because you're only hurting yourself. You understand? I would get on it quick. All right, please.
This way. All right,
Did you run his
so
license?
next
No.
is Chase, page 6.
Good morning.
Chase, ma'am, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, Judge. The complainant filed a report with officers after being assaulted at a Whataburger in Harris County, Texas. During the incident, the complainant was behind the defendant in the drive-through. The complainant believed that she put her vehicle in park and released her brake. However, the vehicle rolled forward and struck the defendant's vehicle. The defendant got out and began yelling at the complainant. The defendant then opened the complainant's door and began striking the complainant in the face, causing pain. During the report, the officer observed the complainant had a busted lip and broken blood vessels in the eye. The officers were able to view the Whataburger surveillance of the assault, as well as a video taken by a witness showing the assault.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you not to go back to this Whataburger and not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. These are your bond conditions. If you violate these conditions, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. You understand? Okay. What do you do for a living, ma'am? What do you do for a living?
Cancer advocate.
Do you have a steady income with them?
Yeah, I do the nonprofit as well. I have a nonprofit organization.
So how much money do you make a month? From all sources, would you say? Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. You need a lawyer to represent you because this can and certainly will affect any kind of nonprofit organizations. You know, if you try to get any kind of funding, you know, it's going to just kill it. So you need a lawyer, okay? I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, we'll have you take your seat in the jury box. I'm going to get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you'll be free to go. Be careful, man. Life's too short.
I know.
Please.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So can you file no contact, no going back to that Whataburger, no weapons?
Is that particular Whataburger?
Yeah, just that.
All right, Judge.
I-
LZ,
Me and Donald saw that Whataburger.
10.
We saw it. We drove by it. Whataburger.
Okay, Trevonna Elsie, ma'am, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge.
Victoria, what did you say? Michael bought you a box of chocolates? That's so nice of him. I'm going to thank him later in Judge Fleischer's courtroom for buying you a box of chocolates.
Officers were dispatched to a Walmart in Harris County, Texas in response to the theft. The loss prevention officer stated he observed via surveillance the defendant placing items inside a child carrier. The loss prevention officer also observed the defendant placing merchandise into shopping bags without paying. The defendant walked past all points of sale and was detained. The total was $490.32.
It's from
A Walmart.
Walmart. Okay. Ms. Elsie, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now banning you from going to any Walmart. I don't care where it is. I don't care what you need. Don't go to any more Walmarts. Like I said, if I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. How old are you, man? How old are you? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
I think from now on we should just start calling Victoria Tina.
I just had a baby. He's at home right now.
How do you get money? How do you say it again? But you're not working now. How do you get support?
It does.
Okay. Do you get child support or what? I mean, I'm trying to see whether you qualify for an appointed lawyer. I need to know what kind of income you've got coming in. Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Yes, Victoria's real name is Tina. Tina. Tina, do you have the wig yet? I wonder. Linus, I hope you're still here, because sometimes I say hi and then I go get a cup of coffee or something real quick. Linus. Vertrouwd. Nee, nee, nee. Vertrouwd. Nee, nee, nee.
Lawyer, man. Okay, don't go to any Walmart. Don't pick up any new cases. Otherwise, it's going to go sideways quick. I'm only asking you to follow the law. You understand, man? Okay, ma'am, do you mind giving her an application, please? They're right here, right behind you. If you mind giving her one of the applications. They're going to give you an application for an appointed lawyer. I need you to go to Victoria, sign and reset. After that, you'll take that to the jury box. Wait, do not leave until you sign our bond conditions, and then we'll have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily, ma'am. Okay?
Right this way.
Please.
Garcia,
So can you file no Walmart?
page 13.
You speak English, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is it Salustro Garcia? Okay, Mr. Garcia, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers initiated a traffic stop in Harris County, Texas, after observing an expired registration on the defendant's vehicle. The officer observed slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, and an odor of an alcoholic beverage. The officer also observed a bottle of liquor in the front passenger seat. After the officer asked the defendant to exit the vehicle, he observed the defendant to have unsteady balance. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The GIC was read and breath was consented to. The results were 0.105 and 0.108.
There's no way I said it that wrong. There's no way. I practiced. Linus, vertrouwd. Nee, nee, nee. Vertrouwd.
Alex, tell me to stop again. I missed it.
The stop was for an expired registration.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
At the moment.
You are not allowed to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care if you need to go to the hospital. I don't care if you need anything. Do not drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you drive, and I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to save 50 kittens, you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? They found he's charged with a felony as well, Alex. What happened with that?
So this drunk girl walks into my bar. Well, she was drunk, but she wasn't drunk when she walked in. Anyway, she says she's from the Netherlands. She says she's from the Netherlands, and I'm like, oh my God, do you speak Dutch? Because she did move here when she was a child, so it's possible that she doesn't speak Dutch. But she's like, yeah, I speak Dutch. And she said, you know how you guys say yeah, yeah, yeah when you guys are talking, you say yeah, yeah, yeah. In the Netherlands, they say nay, 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 nay when they talk, nay, nay, nay. But it was three nays. She was very specific about that. It had to be three nays, nay, nay, nay. And I said, well, please just teach me how to say marry me. And she said, Vertrouwd means marriage. You can just say Vertrouwd, nay, nay, nay. And I thought I nailed it. And it either Linus just publicly rejected me or I really did not nail it.
Yes,
What
Your
else
Honor.
did they find?
While conducting a search of his property, the officers discovered a bag inside a wallet containing 0.27 grams of cocaine.
Mr. Garcia, let me apprise you one more thing. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, you better address it. Because if you don't, and I see that it becomes a problem, I'm going to address it for you. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand? When I mean no dope, I mean no dope from any kind, illegal that is, and no alcohol. You understand?
Yes.
You got out of jail because we gave you a free bond. If I have to revoke that, I'm going to make it high, $5,000 to $10,000. If you don't have anyone to pony up that money, you will be stuck like Chuck in there until this case is over with. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
All right, come on. What do you do for a living?
Maintenance,
Do you have a steady income?
sometimes, it's not regular.
How much money do you have coming in a month?
From 25 to 3,500.
Who do you live with?
I live at the yard.
Live at the yard?
Yeah,
I mean,
my nephew has a trucking business, and I live at the yard and do maintenance around there.
did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Yes,
Okay, we'll give you an application. I'll take a look at it. I need to know everything about you, how much money you have in the bank, how much money you have coming in, what kind of cars you have. I need to know everything about you and I'll see whether you qualify. Don't use any alcohol, Mr. Garcia. I'm warning you now. No tolerance. Do you understand? And above all else, in the short life we have, do not drive. Okay?
Mr. Garcia, if you can come over here. Lopez, page 20.
Lewis?
If you can go with the medium move.
Mr. Lopez, you're charged with fleeing a police officer. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 3rd, 2024, the officers observed the defendant's vehicle speeding greater than 10% over the posted speed limit and was a defective driver's side stop lamp. Traffic stop was initiated or was attempted, and the defendant refused to come to a stop, failed to stop at the stop sign, and continued at 30 miles per hour when came to complete stop in a driveway of a residence. The defendant pulled into the driveway, got out of the vehicle, and locked the door with wife and kids inside the vehicle. The defendant attempted to enter the residence but was detained.
Stop was
For
for,
speeding, Your Honor. Or they attempted to make a stop for speeding, but he kept going until he got to his residence.
he says 10% greater than the posted speed limit, but he doesn't tell us what the posted speed limit is.
I can check the OR, Your Honor.
But then he also said that there was another problem as well. He said a defective,
Driver's side stop lamp.
Hi, Jen.
okay. Mr. Lopez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case.
Michael, I'm so sorry. I hope it wasn't recently. I hope it was before Court Vibes started a channel. Because that's terrible, terrible.
Don't use any dope or alcohol. It's the only thing I'm asking you to do. Don't violate the law. I'm not asking you much. Do you understand? If I find that you're consuming alcohol and kind of illegal drugs, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more parables. You understand? Are you on probation or parole at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. Don't miss court again. The next time you miss court, it's going to be really, really high. Do you understand? You're not going to get any more PR bonds.
Sure.
I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you get with pretrial, and then after that, we'll let you go. Come back to court.
I said, hi, Jen. But then a few minutes later, I said, hi, John. So you were both right. Yes. And in case you're wondering, I have to pause the video and I have to stop frequently because I can't put anything up on the screen. I can't put my camera up. I can't put any comments up on the screen right now. So if I don't pause the video and talk, then YouTube is going to nail me to the wall for stealing content from other content creators because everybody plays Judge Fleischer. So it has to be different. So I have to pause and I have to talk. How's the weather? No, please don't start with the weather. That's what we do when people are being bad. And you guys are never bad. Sometimes.
Sure.
All right.
Judge, did you want random drug testing?
Yeah, please.
Judge, did you want to start with CHAs?
Yeah.
Basie, page 4.
Yes, sometimes.
Good morning, Mr. Basie. Do you have a lawyer today? What are you doing about that? What are you doing about that?
Like the first time I came, I tried to get your attention, but you was already talking to somebody to let you know that I ain't got that type of money for a lawyer.
Did you talk to any lawyers?
I tried, but they all like five. I ain't got that type of money.
How many lawyers did you talk to?
Somebody please tell me what that shirt says.
A few is two, several is three. Couples two, several is three. How many did you talk to? What do you do for a living?
I was working.
So what are you doing now? You're not still not, are you working now? Why not? When is the last time you've had a full-time job? You've never had a full-time job?
The job I had paid on the table.
You were doing what?
They paid under the table.
How old are you?
34.
You're 34 and you've never had a full-time job? Did you graduate from high school? So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life, Mr. Basie? And why do the people of Harris County get to pay for a lawyer for you when you do nothing all day? How is that fair? Why do I have to pay for your lawyer? Are you high right now? So tell me, how is it fair that you get to sit at home, play Xbox all day, and everybody here gets to pay for your lawyer? Why is that fair? So what do you do all day, every day? Mr. Basie, I'm making it a condition of your bond that you get a full-time job. And I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you have done to get a job. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. But I don't understand why the people of Harris County get to pay for a lawyer for you when you do nothing all day. It's not cool. And let me tell you something else, Mr. Basie. Life will go by like this. And if you have no income, if you have no education, you're going to be 65, 7-year-old, not without a dime to your pocket, begging to get money just for McDonald's, just to get Burger King. You have this aura of arrogance, of like, yeah, this unfounded sense of entitlement when you've never had a full-time job. I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system.
I am
I'm going to
also
send you down.
tilting my
You're to come
head.
right back. If you fail to take the drug test, or if you don't fail to come back, I'm going to revoke your bond and I'm going to make you high. Do you understand? Not only that, but I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you've done to get a job. Take a seat for me.
Cabrera, page 6.
What?
Cabrera, page 6.
Good morning, Mr. Cabrera. Do you have a lawyer today?
Sir,
Tell me what you're doing about that.
I talked to some lawyers, and due to the stipulations of the bond, I had to move out of the house that I was living in because I was right next door to the complainant.
Ooh, like right next door to the complainant. It's okay. It's okay. You don't go to jail for domestic violence. You're fine. Guys, we have to talk Jasmine into becoming a lawyer. Because she's young, she doesn't know what to do with her life. No one does at her age. So, we can all help her become a lawyer. Clearly, she's interested in court. So it's not like we're forcing her to do something she hates, like the family business or something. I think she would be a good lawyer if we all pushed her over that direction. I keep telling her that she should be a lawyer, but I'm just one person. Actually, you know what we really need? There's only one person she would listen to. There's only one person she would hear. She knows what we're saying, but there's one person that could push it right over the edge. We need Judge Fleischer to tell Jasmine she should become a lawyer. And we will all help her through school. We have to work on it.
I moved into a halfway house, lost my job, ran through the rest of my money, paying $225 a week. I'm looking for a job, and right now I'm living in the streets.
When is the last time you've had a job?
A month.
Doing what?
Landscaping.
Why'd you stop?
I got fired.
For what? It's a landscaping job. How can you get fired for landscape?
I don't know Spanish, and man, it's a big old deal.
You have a prior theft, possession of marijuana, delivery, burglary of a motor vehicle, burglary of a motor vehicle, burglary of a motor vehicle, delivery, theft, PCS, trespass, unauthorized use, theft assault, and now this. How many court-appointed lawyers have you had on all of those cases, Mr. Cabrera?
Too many.
Have you had a court-appointed lawyer on every single one of those cases? It's time for you to get a
Jen,
job.
you're right.
I'm now making
Right.
that a condition of your bond. You need to get a job. Nothing is beneath you. It doesn't matter if it's working at a fast food place. A job is a job.
Can we please not get Maiko started? Because once he starts talking about his dog's opinion on bunnies, it never ends. I know his opinions on his dog's opinions of bunnies. And it's... Listen, the stream is going to end and he's still going to be talking about his dog and bunnies. So just change the subject for Maiko. Make him think about something different.
And you need one. And I'm now making that a condition of your bond. And I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks to see what you have done to get a job. And if you've done nothing, life will not be going well for you. Do you understand? And me. But it's time for you to do something worthwhile in this life. Why don't you go to a trade school? Why don't you learn a habit like welding, pipe fitting, doing something where you can really earn a living instead of being on the street doing nothing?
I have a mental disability. Now, it interferes with my work. I've had over 40, 50 jobs since I was 17.
Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do, Mr. Cabrera. Can you give him a flyer to the Fresh Start thing, please? And then we're gonna give one of those to Mr. Basie as well.
Maiko, CJ asked for it. Please DM her and go through the whole thing with her too. There you go, CJ. Speaking of the weather, Kelly, it's about 40, 42 degrees here, so I finally had to get my light jacket out to go to my party. I had to wear a light jacket because it was 40-some degrees out.
We have a Fresh Start program that is on November 4th, where there are going to be employers there looking for people to give jobs. I want you to go to this thing, and I'm going to be there too. And we're going to see about what they can do, because they're going to be hopefully handing jobs out left and right. You need to be to this thing. Do you understand?
I walk 20,000 steps every night I work.
What date is it again?
November 9th.
November 9th.
I did answer you.
You know what we
Pleather.
need to do is we need to now make
Pleather. I had a steampunk outfit on. With this big steampunk hat. And there was a lot of pleather in it. So plastic leather. It's not real leather. It's pleather. Plastic leather. And I typed that plastic leather in the stream that crashed. Maybe that's why the stream crashed. Because I typed pleather. Nobody typed pleather.
the list, because this is probably like the fourth or fifth person that we've told to come to this Fresh Start. So, and I don't want to forget who it is. So let's.
I had it, Judge.
Did you, the other ones as well, or no?
Just the two from today.
Yeah, okay. And then I'll start making a list. I'm gonna go by.
I love dogs. I love. I want to get a border collie, but I think I need to buy some sheep first.
Here's the other thing I'm gonna do, Mr. Cabrera. I'm gonna send you for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. Good. If you are, that'll make me very, very happy. But otherwise, I'll have you fill out an application. I'm going to send you now for a drug test. And then I'm going to send you now for a drug test. You're to come right back. If you fail to take the drug test, if you fail to come back.
John, baseball is not over. There's still baseball left. The good parts are coming.
Back, it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Sorry, I'm dirty right now.
Take a seat. We're going to see.
God, I love Rambo so much.
Cortez,
I want that
come on
dog.
up.
Let me-
Judge, did you want to go ahead and give them the application now to fill out?
No, I want to send them first. Come up.
Cortez, page 8.
Hey, after this, I'm going to help out some of the lawyers. All right. Good morning, Mr. Cortez.
Morning.
Do you have a lawyer today?
Sir.
Oh my God, another Smith. You have sheep? That's awesome. Positive for drugs.
Tell me what you're doing about that.
Several lawyers, probably 4, 5. They weren't in my range. I didn't find the lawyer I wanted to in my range.
How many have you talked to? Okay. What do you do for a living? And how much money do you make a month? Okay. There's a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. You know, if you've only talked to 5, you need to talk to 35.
Do you think 3,000 is too much, or is that good?
I can't advise you that, but I will tell you this, that 99% of them will put you on a payment plan where if you ask for a couple $100s a month, they'll represent you and then they can, you know, work on your case for you, you know, pay as you go. 99% will do that. You have to ask for it. You can always negotiate with them. If they say this much, say, well, look, I can give you this much, and then we can do a payment plan. And I'm telling you, there's a gajillion and lawyers that will do that for you. It's just, you need to ask for it. If you don't find the right one, move on to the next one and you keep going. You need to Google Harris County lawyers and then, you know, who do you live with? Do you live at home, mom and dad? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're making 3,000 a month. You live at home with mom and dad. It's, yeah. We'll give you more time. I'll have you go to Victoria. We'll have you sign a reset and we'll see you in 30 days. All right. Okay. You ready?
$3,000
Yeah.
is pretty cheap for a lawyer.
Chip Lewis and I represent a young man who's on a pretrial diversion out of his court.
Say it again.
Chip Lewis and I represent a young man who's on a pretrial diversion out of your court. He's picked up a new case. We would like to do a walkthrough. We're optimistic the new.
Where is he now?
He's down the hall. Sure. I was just going to ask if you'd rather do it at a certain time or.
No, now.
Okay, let me go get
Let
it.
him.
Thank you, Judge.
Council for reset. Next agenda.
Yeah, come on.
Next one is
Hi, Tina.
page 17. Hernandez, come on up. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
We hired Joseph.
you said the bottom of page 17?
Yeah, we hired Joseph. He followed. Page 23. Parker Evans, come on up.
I'm not fast forwarding it because Victoria's talking.
Good morning, ma'am. You have a lawyer today?
I do not. I was trying to get a court appointed.
Okay. What do you do in life?
I'm watching my autistic son at the moment.
Do you have any kind of income coming in?
No, I just quit my corporate job in January.
Just to watch the son or what?
I have 5 children.
Okay. Do you get support for the children?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you mind giving her an application, please, madam?
Right this way. All right, Judge, next is Washington on page 30 and 31.
Good morning, Mr. Washington. Do you have a lawyer today?
The way she yelled quiet yesterday My kids felt that, and they're in a different house at the time.
Tell me what you're doing about that.
I just can't afford it right now. So I was
Oh,
trying to
there's
get
Lori.
one of
She's
those.
fine,
How old are you?
guys.
What do you do for a living?
I work NBT companies, pipeline, but
So you have an income.
not right now. I'm not working. Looking for another job, trying to get into another NBT company.
Where do you live?
Yes, with my dad.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is a pattern or something, guys, but I think I'm onto something. All the people who are committing crimes in this courtroom today don't have a job. I think maybe if you just get a job, then maybe you won't be in front of a judge. It's just this is just, out of left field, maybe. It's just life advice you could take with a grain of salt. But if you have a job, you won't be in front of a judge. Maybe.
Okay, it's time for you to get a job. I'm making that a condition of your bond.
Yeah, it's only been like a month or two.
Okay, that's still too long. If you lose a job, if you stop working, boom, you should have, within a week or two, you start going, you start cracking, and you do what you can to get a job. But when you have too much time on your hands, you become self-destructive. Bad things start happening. Not on our watch. It's time for you to get a job, and I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks. I want to see what you have done to get a job, Mr. Washington. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. Do you understand? That's application, dozens of applications daily until you get a job. Do you understand? Okay, I'll have you fill out an application, 2 weeks, come back. I'm also going to drug test you. If you're using, it's not going to go well. So you hope and pray that you're not using, Mr. Washington. I'm going to give you an application, but I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks to see what you have done to get a job. Do you understand? Okay, come on. Do you mind giving an application, please? Thanks.
So we're sending them today for,
No, but can you give him the fresh start application as well?
that was the last CHA.
Hallelujah.
For now.
Shish. Ready? Mr. Brown, I'll hit you up next, okay?
Would you like me to bring him up?
Do you have a cause number for me?
Yeah, the new case that the warrant's on is 253-4523. Chip and I are aware that there's a lot more to this story, and we think it's going to get straightened out.
Let me express my extreme disappointment with you, Mr. Poole. You are on bond for an evading arrest, a criminal mischief. You've picked up an aggravated assault of a family member and now a terroristic threat. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney. Shh. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The defendant is the complainant's ex-boyfriend. During a walk-in report, the complainant told the officers that her and the defendant had an on and off dating relationship since the 8th grade, but they broke up in June 2024. In September, the defendant told the complainant, "Stop talking all that mess before I come to your house and fucking shoot you." The complainant told the officers that right after the incident, the defendant sent her photos of a gun in his lap. The complainant stated the defendant also told one of the complainant's friends that he was going to shoot the complainant.
So tell me about the ag assault. What happened there?
Your Honor, in the ag assault, one moment.
In the criminal mischief, is it with the same complaining witness as well?
The criminal mischief's from a prior event where we had experimented trying a drug and kind of got crazy and broke stuff with it.
Yes, Your Honor. And then for the aggravated
Completely
assault,
unrelated.
it says the complainant and her friends went to a party, and at the party, they saw the defendant trying to get in, but was ultimately turned away because too many people were there already. While walking, the complainant ignored the defendant, and the defendant stated, "Are you going to apologize?" And the complainant kept walking. The defendant began cussing at the complainant and said, "I got it on me." And the defendant said the complainant said at that time, the defendant got a pistol from his ankle and pointed it at her. And then witnesses corroborated the complainant's statement. And Your Honor, there's also a pending terroristic threat out of Galveston as well for the same complaining witness. Yes.
Did you know about this?
I did not know about that.
Do you have an open case in Galveston as well? I think, Mr. Poole, that you are a complete and utter danger to our society. And I'm going to do everything in my power to protect Harris County from anyone that does any kind of damage whatsoever. I am now revoking your bonds on both of your other cases. Goes with you. I'm sorry. As much as I love you, it's unacceptable the way things have been going. And I think that you don't get the message. And now I hope you do. But I am now going to give you home confinement. You're not allowed out if you bond out of jail. I'm going to make your bond sky high. I think that you're a complete and utter danger to everyone. You flaunt our bond conditions. And it truly sad, Mr. Poole, because you have but one life.
He looks
and
so young.
when you have a gun and when you start using that, God forbid that you do some irreparable damage, that you dig yourself into a hole where you're looking at 50 to 60 years in prison, perhaps life. 99% of people that are in jail are there because they have no self-control. They either use something, they are on something, and they get upset. They wig out without thinking, if I say this, what's going to happen? If I do this, what's going to happen? It's unacceptable. And now I will do everything, like I said, in my power to protect Harris County. So if you do get out, you must remain home confinement. You're not allowed out. No weapons, no contact with any of the complaining witnesses whatsoever, no dope, no alcohol. Anything else? I mean, what does he do?
He's a student, Judge. He's a high school student. So
I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, he scares me.
understood. And Chip and I are going to put some things together. I think that there's a different scenario really going on than what this reflects in the probable cause
But Judge Fleischer, he can't go to jail. It'll mess with his mental health.
statements. And we're going to bring that to the prosecutors.
If you have something that shows me different to what they have, I'm all ears.
Understood.
And
with your permission, Judge, if we'll get some time to put that stuff together, we can perhaps readdress the bond.
Yeah, absolutely. And I never want to see a kid lose out on school, because to me, it's the most important thing in life,
Understood. If we do home confinement, can there be an exception to that when he's at school and he just has to report immediately back to his home?
Is he like in high school?
He's a high school student.
In high school.
I mean,
Oh, he is just
That, Judge, he's actually currently, because of the situation, doing online school, so he'll be able to do it from home.
Oh, okay, good.
So disregard.
Good. There we go. Are you mom and dad? Come on up. Come up.
Come over.
Thank you so much for coming. Shh. It's out of control. I don't know.
Judge, did you just shush Victoria? Listen, I know you're the judge, but you need to watch it. That's Victoria.
What else to do? But it seems that when he's out in public and he's out, partying, as they say, there's a wake of trouble. Did you guys know that he has a case in Galveston as well?
No, Your Honor, this is the first time we've heard of that.
Is it currently open?
It's currently open, Your Honor.
Something that the lawyers are also unaware of as well,
We think it's all one event that happened over a few hours. We don't know.
But it's not though. It's not. he's, 12 in December of 23, we have a criminal mischief and evading arrest. Now, a couple months later, we've got Galveston. It's not. And I think that we need to really give him a wake-up call before he really does irreparable damage,
If I could just clarify, the two events here in Harris and the one event in Galveston, we think that was all in the one series of events that happened between football games and a party on a hotel.
We need to figure out what's going on, to figure out why it's continuing to happen. I want what's best for your son. I really do. I will help you in any way that I can. I have to put him in custody today because I have to show him that it's unacceptable what he's doing and picking up these two new cases, especially the fact that he's picked up an aggravated assault. That's, you've got a great lawyer. We'll be here to figure it out with you.
And Judge, he's already addressed the bond on the felony case as well. So he's gone in and addressed it with the felony. We're just
bond, huh? Understood. So I'm making your bonds 30,000 each. I don't know if they're going to bond you out, but if you do get out, you better be on your
See you in a couple hours, Victoria.
best behavior, and you are not to go anywhere. What I'd like to do is, I'm going to take him in now. I'd like to do an evaluation. It's called a TRAS to see what the best way of going forward. We have clinicians that can sit there and evaluate him, talk to him, figure out what's going on, and perhaps boot camp is the right way. Perhaps we have these other things that we have at our disposal to see how we go forward. Because I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know what he's doing, what he's taking.
We did it already as part of the PTI, and they do want to increase him to one.
Say it again.
They want to increase his level of supervision to YMAX.
Who say that? Felony court?
No, misdemeanor, but this is a part of the PTI. He's already completed the TRS this year, so because of the new law violations and how things they kind of are, they want him to do YMAX.
Did you hear that?
I did. Judge, again, I think that these probable cause statements are giving a skewed picture of what's
So
really
that's
going
right. Let's not put the cart ahead of the horse. We'll give you time. And then if you see something different, just come back and let me know. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
If you need anything, always come back. We're here. We'll help you out in any way that we can. And sometimes some kids are harder to reach, but we'll do everything on our power to reach them one way or the other. So we got you. Okay. We'll take care of you one way or the other. Okay. All right. He goes with you. Oh yeah. I'm going to do a mow up. So hold on, Stephen, hold on. Mr. Poole, I'm entering in what's called the magistrate's order for emergency protection that identifies SM as a protected individual. You're not to commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where the person works. If you violate this court order, the state can and will file a violation of protective order, and you violate those conditions, I can have a hearing to hold you at no bond. Zero bond, and I will do it in a heartbeat to protect every person of Harris County. Do you understand, Mr. Poole? Okay. All right. We'll have him sign it, and then.
For the record, when Lena says judge can send us to boot camp, what she really means is judge can send herself and the other mods to boot camp, because I would die. I would die within the first 20 minutes. They would have me doing push-ups. I would get a heat flash and die right there, which is fine because I might rather that than boot camp. And then there's Linus There's Linus running around all of us. Push-ups, no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull-ups, let's go. 1, 2, 3. I would do. I would attempt to do one pull-up, and Linus would be at 100 already. Oh man. Okay, guys. I'm sorry about the technical issues. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It says that they're up and running fine. I sent a note to them. Um, I'm gonna try to do like a private screen before tomorrow's stream to make sure that they fixed whatever they fixed, and call them if I have to. Demand all my money back if I have to. Fozzie, that's when you were young and the dinosaurs roamed the earth. That's true, Jen. How many years has it been, Fozzie, since you've been to boot camp? I bet. I wonder how he would do. I, I know. I know, Kelly. I was hoping they would hurry up so I could get done at exactly 7, but wow. Wow. 1985. I think it's a lot different than what you remember it as. I think what you did was way harder than today's boot camp. I mean, I don't know, but I'm guessing that back then they didn't care about feelings as much as they have to now. Yep, just give them a couple beers. I mean, it's really a good solution. Who is outside at 7 o'clock in the morning? People, go away. No one's here. All right. I'm gonna be at court on time today, guys. I'm wide awake, so I'm gonna get my courts lined up, and then I'm gonna see you all in Judge Fleischer's courtroom very, very, very soon. Thank you, Monica. Congratulations to everybody who got gift memberships today. It's awesome. I shall see you all. Listen, I don't have the outro set up yet. So, uh, there's no outro today. But if you really want to see an outro, there's one on almost every single one of my other videos. Just fast forward a different video to the very end, and then you can see the outro. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye. I'm waving, by the way, just so you